What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 59 of the Let's Build U.S.S. Voyager tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. And if you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Today we've got about a 17-minute episode. We're going to be adding in some lighting on the lower section of our saucer, and then we'll be shifting gears and focusing on the shuttle bay. So without further ado, let's kick back, relax, and we're going to dive right into this. So in the last episode we completed the exterior, and now I'm just going to go in and add some lighting on our cut lines here, because I know it's a little bit dark underneath Voyager right now. And the lighting blocks that I'm adding right now, these are subject to be moved. I'm just really throwing a lot of them up to get some illumination going on up in here. But the ones that we're building inside the hull, I want to make sure that we're still building them on the cut line. And the main thing here, you don't have to have them placed exactly where I have them placed. But follow this one rule. If you do one thing on one side, do it on the other. This way the left and right side both match. Just there, I didn't put too much thought into it as far as spacing them out. I just spaced them out far enough that looked good, and I just moved on with it. And that's literally all the thought I put into it. But with that being said, the bottom section of Voyager isn't looking too bad. Not perfect, but it's good enough that I'm happy with it. And that's honestly, at the end of the day, that's all that matters here. Not taking this build too seriously, just trying to have some fun and enjoy the process. And I'm loving how this thing is looking. So we're going to shift gears now, and we're going to be working on our shuttle bay. There's still going to be some more stuff to do on the exterior here and there, but at this point on, you guys are going to see a shift with a little bit more focus on the interior. Because even though we've got season 2 that's going to focus on the interior, there were still some things that I needed to build out in season 1 to get a general idea of some things. I wanted to build out my shuttle bay. I wanted to have my corridors in place, my turbo lifts, and I wanted to have my bridge in place. After that, I stopped working on the interior and saved everything else for season 2. But we'll still have a few things to build with season 1. It'll be cool. I'm pretty excited for you guys to see the shuttle bay area, because the shuttle bay area is going to extend a couple of decks below the primary. And there won't be like a secondary shuttle bay or anything, but it'll be more of a storage housing area for the primary shuttle bay, which will be cool to do. I've never done anything like this, quite like it before, and I'm excited to dive into it, because this is one of the things I want to keep doing with my ships, that I don't want to build my ships the same way. I try to kind of think about what they're used for and, you know, expanding upon that if I can. But really what we're doing right now, we're just trying to get our general shape that we're going with. So what I'm doing right now is I have a couple of pictures up. All you really need to do is search on Google or whatever search you're going to use. Just type in U.S.S. Voyager Shuttle Bay, or U.S.S. Voyager Shuttle Bay Exterior, U.S.S. Voyager Shuttle Bay Interior. You could even search U.S.S. Voyager Interior Blueprints. I'm going to be honest right now. I never do anything exactly how it looks on the blueprints. And my thought process behind this is, I'll give you a great example, like with the Enterprise D. Not a lot of people know this, but there have been different models that have been used on the Enterprise D. And unless you're just a nerd and you're not like super keen on little tiny details that don't matter, I'll give you one little tidbit. The original Enterprise D 10 forward was not on the model. Yeah, it's not until very later on that when they actually rebuilt the model, because ILM wasn't doing the CG, or wasn't doing the special effects anymore for Next Generation. They rebuilt it and they incorporated it into the model. And Enterprise D was actually just a little bit heftier looking when they rebuilt it. So the point I'm trying to make here is you can get away with little things like that here and there. I think the things that ultimately matter is, does it feel like Voyager? And if it feels like Voyager and things match up, who cares if it doesn't look exactly how it looked on the blueprint? I don't think things like that matter too much, because for me, as somebody that's very creative, I like using, I like being creative in my builds, and I love using that creativity to explore different things that I can do. You know what I mean? So don't sell yourself short with that and not do something just simply because it wasn't there or didn't look exactly like that. You can make changes with it. Like a great example, what I did when I referenced the shuttle bay on Voyager, the lower housing area for it is actually on the ship. But what I did, like I took it and I flipped it around and going in a different direction, because with the shape that I had to work with, what I had made on Minecraft, having it go in the same direction, it wouldn't have looked as close to it. So I'm like, you know what? F it. I'm going to do it, but I'll just take that area and I'll flip it and have it going in the exact opposite direction to make it fit. There might be some other things on Voyager in the blueprints I decide not to do. You know, so I think at the end of the day, just do what you want to do and have fun with it. That's what I try to do, and it works out pretty well for me, because for me, Minecraft, building on Minecraft is just supposed to be a relaxing getaway for a couple of hours to stop thinking about stuff and just focusing on being creative and having a little bit of fun with it. Yeah, because Voyager, the shuttle bay area, is kind of unique in its sense of how it looks, because you have like this small doorway here, and then to the right of it, there's like an airlock, and then to the left of it, it has like that circuit board thing. So that's kind of like what I'm working with right now that I'm trying to build out. So I'm referencing my reference material, my photos that I searched online. I'm telling you, having that up, it's a huge resource for you, because this is something that I got when I was an artist, and well, I'm still an artist, I just don't really draw anymore often, but when I used to draw quite a bit, I was actually really good at it. And one of a lot of things that artists will do when they're drawing something, they'll have references that they're working with. It can be something maybe completely unrelated to what you're drawing, but maybe you like how the eyes look, or maybe you like how the shirt looks, and you can incorporate some of those details into what you're making. We're essentially doing the same thing here. We're just translating the information that we see from the photo materials from Voyager, and we're translating it over to our pixel model version. So you can have fun with that too. You know, maybe some of the stuff that I'm adding on here, maybe you want more detail. There's a lot of stuff that you can get away with, you know. The closest ship to Voyager, they had that smaller version of it that kind of looked like a Sovereign class, but it wasn't. Don't get mad at me because I don't remember what class it was. But you could use that ship. You could hell, you could even like reference the Sovereign a little bit if you wanted to, because they're not that far off of each other as far as the form and how they're made. There's little bits of details that you can pull from other things if you really, really wanted to, you know. There's a lot of things that you can do here. So I say have some fun with it. Just because I'm doing something doesn't mean you have to follow it exactly. If you decide, like as an example, from here on out you want to do your own interior, I say go for it. That's something that I saw some people doing on the Enterprise D, which I thought was really cool because after I had officially talked about losing the save file for the original Enterprise D, I had people posting pictures of them going in and trying to finish the interior and just doing their own thing. And I actually thought that was pretty cool. Um, and it was really awesome to see what some people were coming up with. A lot of it was quite impressive, to be honest with you, because there's some good builders out there. But it's never, even being a great builder, it's never a bad thing to have references to go off of or things that inspire you. As long as you're not ripping people off and trying to take credit for it. That's really, I think, the main thing here. You know, so now we're more into the interior section. You see I'm starting to plot out our flooring. And really what I'm making right now is, so Voyager, it kind of has a unique shuttle bay where it has like this like launching tube that the Delta Flyer used to come out of and stuff, and like it'd be like this long tunnel before you actually got into the shuttle bay. And I thought that was kind of a cool feature. It reminded me kind of like Battlestar Galactica or something like that. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. I've just built out my runway, and I honestly, I didn't put too much thought into it here. I just brought it up to that cut line right there, and then I stopped. I can bring it out further if I really need to, but we're just going to rock that out for now, and then we're going to start adding in maybe some other builder lines for what will become some of our other rooms. So now I have to start spacing out my area for where the shuttles will go for people that are going to be getting ready to hop on missions and stuff. And then after that, I'll have to work on expanding out the shuttle bay and then also working on our corridors. That's why I say, at the end of the day, the most single important thing that you can do when you're making your interior on your ship, do your corridors first. I've already have my ground, our level out as far as our walking point. That's already been set. So I've already got a general idea of how this is going to go. And what we're going to end up doing here, because this is our ground level right here that we're on. So looking at our reference material for Voyager, you're going to notice that you're not going to see any or corridors here in the middle, because this right here will be kind of like a staging area. So what I had the idea in my head to go off of, and I didn't use blueprints for this, I'm going to have corridors on the sides. That felt like a nice compromise, and it felt like it was going to work a little bit more because I have our two turbo lifts here, one on each side, so I can have corridors going along the side here, and then at some point they can come together in a U, and then we can go straight down. But very, very important to plot out your hallways, because the last thing you want to do is be in a situation where you're building out your rooms first and your corridors are an afterthought, and then you try to come back and you try to build in your hallways. What if you don't have enough room for it? What are you going to do? You're going to have to rebuild your whole area. You know what I mean? So I don't know, just take that under advisement. That's the only reason that we haven't literally built them out just this second, but I've got my wireframe for them in place for the most part, and I already know what I'm going to do. So you don't have to have all this stuff built out at the same time, but have a plan in place, at least for what you're going to do. Because that plan is, well, let me rephrase. The amount of planning that you put into this ahead of time is going to reflect how your build turns out. That's the basically the gust of it. And right now, I'm just doing stuff that just feels natural. So I've established where our tube is going to start, and I'm just going to wall it off on the sides. We can always utilize that dead space if we want to at a later point. There's a lot of cool stuff that we can do with that. But right now, I'm not so focused on that. That stuff is going to be a little bit more of an afterthought. The main thing for me right now is getting the room together and our corridors together. And again, right now I'm just looking at reference photos to get an idea of what I want to do, and then I'm using what I have to come up with the placement and everything that we're doing right now. Yeah, so we have that nice cool tunnel that you come in, and then this will be our staging area. We'll have a corridor there over to the left. Need to get a little bit of light up in here though. Now we're going to wall this off. And this wall right here is probably going to end up being subject to change. It's really going to factor into how much room I'm going to have there to put the corridor in, because the corridor is going to take priority over this wall essentially, because I really need to make sure that I have enough room to have that corridor coming all the way along the side here, so this way we can access this stuff and it doesn't feel like it's an afterthought. So again, even though I haven't started physically building out the corridors for that side there, I'm already planning for it. And that's gonna, I'm making that opening bigger because what that room is eventually going to become is going to be an elevator, basically an elevator room for our shuttlecraft and cargo and whatnot. And that'll take us down into the shuttle base storage, as well as what will be cargo also, and then that whole area in the front will be engineering. This will eventually become a staircase that will lead us to the shuttle bay control room. Again, it doesn't look like much now, but we're just plotting out the room. It is really important to think about this stuff ahead of time as you're first developing the room, because again, you don't want these things to be an afterthought. The main things that you want to get out of that room. But then most importantly, your walkways. Always have the walkways incorporated into it. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for me today. We knocked out a good portion of the ship. but we still have a lot to do. But I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in today's episode. And if you did enjoy this content, please help me out. Hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. Drop a comment below. These things help my analytics. We're only like 108 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. Once we do, the Enterprise A 2.0 tutorial will drop. Really looking forward to that. We've also got the Excelsior Excelsior 2 Season 1 that'll be coming out. We've got Voyager Season 2 that'll be coming up, as well as the Enterprise D Season 2. So a lot of cool stuff to be looking forward to on the channel. Anyway, I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode, and I hope everyone has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Drop your comments below and post your photos in Discord.